is some suspicious circumstances, certainly.
Now at 6, new details in the quintuple homicide in Forest Grove. What we're learning about the suspect and his connection to the victims.
Plus, the Supreme Court siding with President Trump's mail-in voting executive order. Why local leaders are pushing back against the move and what it could mean for voters in Oregon and Washington.
And today is the first day of school for a number of local districts, including the Beaverton School District and Vancouver Public Schools. We're live at both, checking in with parents and administrators as kids start heading back to class. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Tuesday. I'm China Green.
Glad to have you starting your morning with us. I'm Matthew Herchick, Rod Hill, and Chris McGinnis standing by with a look at our weather and traffic. We're going to start off with Rod. How are things looking out there?
My turn. Good morning, guys. Good morning to you at home. Another nice day coming in terms of sunshine. Not going to be as warm as yesterday here on the west side. Looks like it's going to be a mostly sunny start once the sun pops up over Salem. 60 degrees is the temperature. We do have cloudiness that's come up the Columbia River, southwest Washington, and spilling in to downtown Portland. Here you can see the clouds over the river from the Vancouver, the Springs of the waterfront location. 61, first day of school for Vancouver Public. Here's downtown Portland, a similar scene, and the temperature out at the airport is 67. We hit 93 yesterday. So here we go. We have multiple districts in session today. Ring the bell. 64 out the door. Should be a sunny lunchtime. 74 and all sunny when the kids get home. And generally low to mid 80s around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Watching out for the kiddos on the streets, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes for the roadways, too. As we get onto the highways this morning, we're off to a pretty good start. We had some overnight road work between Battleground and Salmon Creek on I-5 southbound in Clark County. That is wrapped up. And in fact, your trip across the Columbia zipping along just fine now. Main Street to the Fremont Bridge, just 9 minutes. There's a live look at the Banfield. Interstate 84 looks pretty good. Highway 26 getting a little bit busier at the Sylvan Hill, but so far, a speed limit clip to get you in from Hillsborough. It's just 12 minutes from Brookwood Parkway to downtown. China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. We began this morning with more disturbing and grim details on the mass killing near Forest Grove.
Yeah, we've learned the 5 victims include 3 generations of one family. Sunrise reporter Mo Hyder is live with more details on the victims and their connection to the suspect. Mo.
Yeah, Matthew, well, according to investigators, the suspect, Benjamin Parker, was a boyfriend of one of the victims. Here's also what we're learning about the other victims as well. According to Washington County investigators, 5 people were found dead outside a property near Forest Grove. Investigators have identified them as 60-year-old Rowan Kimsey, his 26-year-old child, Stella, who also lived there and was dating Parker. The sheriff's office says Parker lived there too. The 3 other victims include Rowan's mother, 85-year-old Mary Elizabeth Kimsey, as well as Stella's best friend Lindsay Haroldson and Alvin Chu, who investigators say was Lindsay's partner. Parker was found dead in Enumclaw in what investigators are calling an apparent murder-suicide. And according to the city's police chief, investigators were able to track him down using cell phone pings and flock camera technology.
Here's the plate and the car that you're looking for. We go to the flock system, we put the plate in. We could see that he'd hit a couple of our cameras.
And we're also learning from investigators that 2 cats as well as 2 dogs died in the incident. Right now, we have not been told what the possible motive was, but the sheriff's office is expected to hold a news conference later today with the latest details, and we certainly keep you updated on what happens from that on air, as well as our free streaming app on KGW. Back to you guys.
All right, certainly a story we'll continue following, Mo. Thank you very much. And we do want to remind you that if you or someone you know is experiencing suicidal thoughts, help is available 24/7. All you have to do is dial the number on your screen. That is 988.
Portland police say a man has died after what they're calling a fire-related incident in Old Town. Authorities found Anthony Knights near Northwest Davis and Nato last Tuesday morning with severe burns to a significant portion of his body. Knights died in the hospital. Police believe that this was intentional, though no word on any suspects or arrests.
In Southwest Washington, nearly 24 people have been displaced after this fire tore through an apartment building in Cathlamet. We first broke this story yesterday on Sunrise. Cathlamet is on the Washington side of the Columbia, about a half-hour west of Longview. These photos show fire crews battling the flames as they burst out of windows and even through the roof, eventually destroying the building. A KGW viewer who saw the fire also sent us this video. Officials say the fire started around 2 o'clock Monday morning on Columbia Avenue. No word yet on the cause, but fortunately no one had to go to the hospital.
Over in Central Oregon, deputies say a thief made their job easier by putting about $20,000 worth of stolen golf gear up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The gear disappeared last month from a ranch in the community of Powell Butte, east of Redmond. Investigators say that they used serial numbers and a storage unit photo in the Marketplace post to track it to the 44-year-old Matthew Chavis. Deputies arrested him Friday in Portland and found the stolen golf bags and gear.
A major update in the battle over mail-in voting, which Oregon and Washington nearly universally use. The U.S. Supreme Court siding with the Trump administration over the president's executive order. The order calls on the federal government to work with states to create lists of eligible voters, then orders the Postal Service to deliver mail ballots only to people on those lists. The Supreme Court did not decide whether the order was lawful, only that states that sued, including Oregon, did not have the legal right, at least at this stage, to challenge it.
That's the worry here, that things will be chaotic, there'll be last-minute court decisions, and that these kind of levers will still be turned very late in the game when really we should be focusing on, candidates competing, everyone voting, everyone having their voices heard, and let's just get the November election done.
In a joint statement, Oregon's top leaders called this decision a, quote, temporary setback. It's unclear whether the state plans to send voter information to the federal government or the Postal Service, though the statement indicated that new lawsuits could be on the horizon.
The Trump administration is allowing up to 300,000 metric tons of ground beef to be imported into the U.S. with no tariffs. That equates to more than 660 million pounds of meat. In a post on Truth Social, President Trump says the beef will be sold at 25% below current market prices. The president didn't say where the beef was coming from or who will be selling the meat at or below market price. He says it's an effort to lower prices for U.S. consumers who are struggling with their grocery bills. According to CNBC, beef prices soared this year due to shrinking herd sizes from years of drought and the high cost of feed.
In celebration of National Hydropower Day, we are getting a look inside Bonneville Dam. Now, Bonneville, which is 3 separate structures, including a monster spillway to release water, generates enough electricity for nearly 900,000 homes every year. It's one of many dams built, including on the Columbia, as part of the New Deal. FDR even visited during construction back in 1937. And if you visited, you know the dam's other important role, providing access up and down river through the locks for cargo, through the fish ladder for wildlife.
We have fish ladders to help the adults climb up. We have water slides for the babies to go down.
You always learn something new every single time. You'll go into an old room and find drawings that you never found before, or you'll learn a piece of history.
You can see how it all works for yourself at 2 visitor centers, one on the Oregon side, the other in Washington.
Right now, the city of Tualatin is asking residents and businesses to conserve water for the next day or 2, not because of fires, but because it had to shut down one of its water lines to repair a leak. Officials say the best way to reduce water use is to temporarily stop watering outdoor plants and grass, to wait to run appliances like your wash machine or dishwasher until they're full, and turn off the water when brushing your teeth, shaving, or washing your hair.
Looking ahead to fall, experts say there is now a 90% chance a very strong El Nino will develop by October. This comes from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. Climate scientists say a developing super El Nino could keep the Northwest warm and dry into the winter. Researchers say that's bad news for a region already dealing with significant drought, below normal water supply, and a very active wildfire season.
One of the biggest, most visible impacts of the drought has been the wildfires. And so this just shows kind of where some of the large wildfires are occurring across the state. And most of them are occurring where we have drought conditions here.
The drought is also impacting agriculture. For example, in Idaho, farmers have seen an estimated $20 million loss so far because of a low irrigation supply.
All right, headed over to Rod Hill now. So Rod, when is the last time that we got a decent amount of rain, and do we know when we might start seeing rain again?
In terms of do we know when we're going to see a significant wetting? No idea.
Okay.
No idea. I will tell you, and this may, I don't know if it's going to surprise you or not, because it's not that unusual. But the last time we had a widespread soak up and down much of the valley, you've got to go back to the days of June 25, June 26, and June 27. Those 3 days, PDX out of that had 66/100ths of an inch fall. And really, that's the last time we had any widespread rain. Now, we had some thunderstorms back in July, but that was not widespread. One of those storms on July 22nd did drop 16/100ths of an inch out of PDX. But again, that was not widespread rain. So it's been a while. Do we typically not get much rain in July? Yes. Do we typically not get much rain in August? Yes. September really can vary. Unfortunately, there have been a number of Septembers and Octobers lately where we simply didn't get much. I just did some looking at some of the outlook models. The European model loves a wet November, and to me that would match up with this developing strong El Nino cycle coming in. So we'll see. Here's our reserve golf course out in the Explore Tualatin Valley location. We've got a mixture of some hazy, clear skies and some cloudiness that's come up the Columbia and spilled into parts of the North Valley. 61 out over the reserve golf course right now in Aloha. Here you can see clouds over the West Hills and Providence Park camera, 66. 59 out in Hillsboro, 63 in Wilsonville. Sherwood is mainly clear, and 60. Salem is mainly clear, and 60, as is Albany at this hour. This will be a dry day. No thunderstorm chances out east today, and temperatures will be in the 90s again, central and eastern areas of our state. But we're going to be dropping the numbers into the 80s up and down the valley, and it might be cloudy much of the day at the coast with temperatures holding in the 60s. Yesterday, Portland 93, Astoria 81, by the way. 88 today or cooler. We get into morning cloud cover every single morning starting tomorrow into the weekend. And we actually have a shower threat on Saturday and a shower threat on Monday. But Rod, you just said no signs of any widespread beneficial soaking, which means I don't think we're going to get that out of these rain chances coming up. Back to you.
Thank you, Rod.